Hey, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on? Awesome to see you. Awesome to see the smartest subscribers on YouTube because they're right here. Their home is On the Chain. Today, we're going to talk about growth, big growth, rapid growth, accelerated growth across the entire crypto ecosystem. And you've got all these digital assets that people are following. You got XRP, you got XLM, BTC, ETH, and I don't know, there's like 6,000 of them. You guys can just insert your favorites as you're thinking about it. There's a lot to talk about. I'm excited about tonight. How about you, Chip?
I'm excited. Let's get going. Let's start unpacking it, Jeff. Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Yeah, there he is. What are you drinking tonight, Jeff, by the way?
Water.
You're drinking water?
Yeah.
In a mug? That's so weird.
I put water in a mug because it's awkward drinking it out of the bottle. So I've started putting it in the mug. So it's like.
I filled this up earlier and I was chasing around the house looking for it. And I remembered I put it in the refrigerator. I'm like, now it's ice cold. So it's really nice. So before we go any further, I want to give a big shout out to the man, the legend, Nindy from the UK. He's the guy responsible for getting me into crypto. And if I wasn't into crypto, I would have met Jeff. If I would have met Jeff, I would have met every person in the OTC, which I'll go by each person one by one. Let's start with Sir John, number one. Number two, no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to go there. But man, yeah, because he introduced me. But way he introduced me was beating me over the head with a bat daily, sometimes several times. And I was like, come on, man. It's internet, magic internet money. It's BS, right? And you guys probably have a friend like this. You probably have a family member like this. You're trying to explain what crypto is. And they're like, are you kidding me? I would never do that. It's not backed by anything.
That's Meanwhile, that asset used for nefarious purpose by criminal entities around the world.
Yeah, we heard that Bitcoin is used by villains, and they're trying to, and it's like, yeah. And that quote we played last night by Rep Gonzalez when he said that 99.8% of fiat crimes, nefarious crimes, do not get prosecuted. And it had to come from a stat when they were doing the whole Silk Road thing. So I love it when you actually get somebody in Congress that can quote some stats and kind of counter that whole negative argument because it's nefarious, it's somewhere in the deep, and we got to get past that, Jeff.
We really do, and we're seeing, and it's negative, but you know where it's coming from. It's coming from a place where those that are making these claims don't want the crypto space to expand or don't want it to succeed. So they're really looking at maybe a little bit of hostile intent,
a little bit,
they could slow it down, crush it, whatever they want to do. A lot of it comes just from complete ignorance.
That goes back to one thing only. Decentralization equals freedom. Everything else is BS. If you're not decentralized, then you're not for real. And this is what the elites are going to fight, right? Tooth and nail, central bankers. Look, the central bankers are like, we'll make a CBDC. Yes. And the first problem with that is the very first word of CBDC. Centralized. Not good. No bueno. We don't want anything centralized. We don't want centralized planning, which we know does not work. They always want to move it up to the government and some person. Now, Jeff, I saw something funny out of Philadelphia. There was a story, and they said they couldn't believe that there was a massive failure in getting the vaccine out to everybody in like the Philadelphia area because they hired some kid out of college and was responsible for getting the vaccine out to everybody. And I'm like, well, that's one way to look at it. Another way could be a hero. You just now, it depends on what side, what way you're looking at it. And I thought that was fantastic. But we got a lot to jump into.
Steve Willett, man, Steve Willett's from DNI. That's awesome.
Yeah, Steve Willett's from down under, right? It's good morning, good day, mate.
And Luke is back on from Berlin, which is awesome.
By the way, we've got some good stuff coming out of Germany, some really strong stuff. Germany is on the move. Well, stay tuned for that story. But I'm really happy.
How do you pronounce it? Spatial funds? Spatial funds?
I have to look at it first, Jeff. I can't.
Spatial. All right. It's very spatial.
And anyway, let's start off with this guy right here, the Shermanator, as you deemed him the Shermanator, but we wanted to do the story last night.
Here we go.
And this guy is really, and I think he's hated by both parties, especially his party, but he says that he calls for shutting down crypto, right? He's just, I mean, come on.
I don't understand. That guy is just so filled with hate. Just so much hate. Anger. Shut down. It's bad. It's volatile. You can make those claims about other things too.
And that was funny because, you saw the other side coming in saying, well, no, we're not going to shut down crypto. No, it's not used for nefarious. So they had to counter his own argument. But he says they're so volatile. One person makes like $1 million and retires at age 49, and then they lose $100,000. Coinbase makes money. Hey, mister, everybody makes money. You know who makes the most money? Banks. Banks make money. It's like you overdrafted your account. You owe us money. Yeah, but I don't have any money. And then it keeps rolling until you figure out a way to fund that account. But
it sounds just like the stock market too, because Chip, he's focused here. These statements, if one person makes $1 million, look at that statement in that paragraph.
I don't want to
back up there.
Let's look at it.
If one person makes $1 million and retires at 49, 9 lose 100,000, Coinbase makes money. Well, if the same happens in a stock market and the stock exchange, so if you go to the trade desk, if you're using E-Trade or Fidelity, or go to your broker, whatever, you can make the exact same claim, the exact same statement. If you're working through JP Morgan and you lose $100,000, guess what? JP Morgan is still making money.
And he says the others do not retire in dignity, but instead become eligible for Medicaid. Well, listen, man, make better investments. What do you want? I mean, here's the thing is that they always want to tell you the nanny state wants to tell you how to control your money. This is what they want to do, Jeff. They want to be like, oh, no, Jeff, I'm sorry. You're not possibly smart enough to know how to figure out how to spend your money. We're going to figure it out for you. We're going to tell you how it's going to work. And you know what? Win or lose, you make the mistakes, you figure it out, and that's how you learn.
And Devon is saying, so shut down the lotteries. And that's exactly the point, because if you think about, and lotteries really should be shut down. I mean, if you think about it, because the purpose of what they're meant for doesn't go there. And it's been shown time and time again. And it doesn't make any sense. The amount of money some people end up spending on the lottery. I mean, it's one thing if you go off and you pay $1 here and there, but the lottery has become an additional tax. And they really, focus on singling out certain, economic categories, within the community. And they almost prey on these people, in this hope and a dream, and they put it out there. And I did a whole thing on it as you compare it into the crypto space. And man, lottery, you're just kind of flushing your money down the toilet. And every so often someone pops up a winner that goes broke, but in crypto, imagine those same people. Imagine if you played lottery every single week, Chip, and you're putting in $20 a week, and now you're putting $20 into crypto.
I'll tell you, Jeff. So I was behind. Sometimes, like I go into my favorite, store to buy a little bit of bourbon, and there's a guy in front of me, and he looks pretty cool. And I go like this. I think to myself, he's like buying like $40 worth of lottery tickets, and I go, do I say something? I'm like, hey, by the way, have you heard of cryptocurrency? He's like, oh, I've heard of it, Bitcoin. I've heard of it. I said, think about it like this: put $40, took that same $40 into Bitcoin, and then wait. Hang on a little bit. Now, tomorrow you're going to find out you didn't win the lottery. There's a chance you might, but more than likely you're not going to win the lottery, right?
Yep.
I said, tomorrow you're going to wake up.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're going to wake up. You're not going to win that lottery, but you know what? You're going to have something. Now, as that starts rising, you've already forgotten about it, and it could rise and end up with a couple $100,000, $100, whatever. It's going to go up. He goes, give me $40, whatever it was in lottery tickets, right? You're not going to win them all, Jeff. And then there's a American TV program that I watch here about, they help people that win the lottery go find homes on HGTV.
Oh my God. Oh, don't get me started on those.
I love it, Jeff. It's the great.
I can't stand that show.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that guy. He's the greatest in the world.
It's good when if you're drinking scotch.
No. It's the greatest. It's the greatest show ever.
When they win $1 million, and he goes, let's see if we can spend all of the money that you won.
But you know what's funny though is they're actually very conservative. So the one guy goes like, so his wife is like, no, let's spend it all. Let's spend 700. She's like, he says that's the same one that yells at me every day for playing $40 to $80 in lottery tickets. And he goes, to be honest with you, I'm probably even. I only won $1 million. I'm probably even over the years playing all that stuff. But if you put $1 million into crypto early days over the course of maybe 25, 30 years, I mean, obviously it's not that long, but you get the story.
Living large.
Right?
Yeah, but when you get that $1 million bonus, you know, I was going to bring that up, Chip. That's what I was going to say. It's almost 8:30, and I think it's time for Presley's bedtime.
Presley, it's time.
It is time.
I think it's
8:30. 8:30. Maybe we'll even let you go maybe to 8:45 tonight.
I don't know, Jeff. We don't want to press it, but
that might be pushing a little bit. So let's say 8:30.
Yeah, 8:30-ish. Right. That's what you say. And it's like, oh no, one more thing. You know, when you're a kid, like you gotta find a glass of water. I'm hungry. I gotta get something. There's 15 things I gotta go do. And it's like the bedroom, that's where you gotta go. So that's kind of how it works out.
John said, Jeff, I'm watching you. You better not be on HGTV in 6 years showing up some Bourbonnery home or something.
Bourbonnery home or something you own.
Right.
Yeah, we want to be very careful about that. And Jeff's like, he doesn't like it. I said, it's one of the greatest shows on TV, man. I get hooked into it. That flipper, the one where it's just, I get suckered into that every time. And I'm always, they won, one lady won like $5 million. How much you want to spend? 300,000. I'm like,
well, that's smart. But typically it's like, you know, they win $1 million and they're like, oh, we're going to spend your money. Come in. You won the lottery. We're watching this whole show. And
he's very cool about it, dude.
And then they go, we're going to spend 750,000. Then you're going to put 250 and they're going to give 250. I'm like, and then you have no money left. How are you going to pay the taxes on your property?
If you're thinking,
they didn't think about that part.
We don't need to get into it. I want to talk about one of the coolest NFTs that I've seen, because there was an NFT that I don't even know. I don't even watch it anymore. Baseball. What's the name? I know you have the NHL, the NBA, the NFL. What's the one for baseball? Having a brain fade here. NBL, Major League Baseball. What? NBL. They were actually creating an NFT of Lou Gehrig's 1930s speech of what he said on The Luckiest Man Alive. I mean, capitalizing on a guy who they named a disease after, okay, who knows he's going to die a debilitating, horrible death, gets out there, makes an amazingly inspiring speech, and that's their first NFT. I don't know, man. It's a little bit tasteless in my book, but this one right here,
it's kind of smart though. I mean, put it there. I mean,
that's why I like
big in the space, and also big, you know, after the fact. So.
No, but that's why I like people. He's gonna capture moments in time, but I don't know.
But maybe they'll take all that money and they'll donate it to.
They're not, Jeff.
The cause.
No, they're not. It's gonna be more woke causes going out there. Yeah. So look at this. This is Tim Berners-Lee, and if you guys don't know who he is the man really singly responsible for everything we do, you do, I do, everybody every day, because he wrote the code that became the worldwide net, the web rather, and you know, you hear about a lot of other people and how they were instrumental and the Googles and stuff, but he was one. So the NFT sold for $5.4 million at Sotheby's auction. And let me just zoom in on that. It was the version of the original source code used to build the World Wide Web with a buyer's premium. I'm curious what that buyer's premium, because that was Sotheby's. That's what they got. Proceeds from the sale are benefiting unspecified causes supported by British computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee, who wrote the code, and his wife, Rosemary Lee. Bidding started at 1,000. 51.
Man, that's crazy. 1,000. And that's good. You know, I mean, bidding, the value is going to be the value. So that, you know, starting at 1,000 is awesome. You might even get an opportunity to get your little bid in there, get your 1,500, knowing that it's going to go up into the millions. You'd say, hey, I bid on it at least.
Well, look, by comparison, you know, he had people's every days, the first 5,000 days, that went for 69 million. Still, that is the bar right now. But, you know, he put a lot of time and effort into it. Then he started rolling out his own sort of website there. So,
and what happens to that code? Let's say he puts it into an NFT and he sells it. What happens to the code? Does that person now own that code forever?
I don't know, Jeff. Well, you own. It's not necessarily the code. See, that's the weird thing. Like, the code's not going to get you anywhere. It's the code. I think they
have a picture of it.
They don't have a picture of it. I did see it somewhere else though. I don't think they had a picture. No.
Huh. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, it's I think it was like just the code itself, sitting there, like the few lines of code, the very bit of it. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
the timestamped file sold during the auction contains 9,550 lines of code, original programming code that burners wrote. Code has since served as the basis for some foundational structures like HTTP, HTML, and URI, which is Universal Document Identified. Python-backed digital poster. This is the one I was reading about, which serves as a visualization of the source code, comprises the inventor's digital signature, was sold to a winning bidder, later penned by Berners-Lee, detailing his 1989 creation.
That's pretty cool.
So, pretty cool, man. That's like one of the cooler ones that I've seen in some time, no doubt.
That you can be proud of. I like that.
No
Hey,
doubt.
let's talk, man. Let's get into this Ripple thing.
Which one? There's a whole bunch of them going on. I mean,
let's get into this. Now we've talked about this before, but I think it becomes really, really relevant. Now, before we get into all the kind of growth, positive news and all of that, not that this is negative, I think it's positive, but it seems to be like a trend. We're talking about other assets in the space, right? We talk about BTC sometimes, we'll talk about Ethereum, we'll talk about other projects, and we're talking about how this space in general is expanding at a rapid rate. Now, you look at this article, and it's interesting because the top attorney, which was Stuart Alderoty. Now, I think we've even covered this statement from him in the past, but this article just came out last week. And his whole point here is that their fight is for the entire crypto industry. What's happening right now, SEC v. Ripple, isn't just about Ripple and XRP, right, Chip? I mean, it's about so much more.
It isn't.
And you need to like a kickstart reminder, right?
Well, that was one of the reasons that I covered it. I think Thursday night I went through the whole thing because I thought there were some really top points that Alderoty made in it, and he said, if you're mistaken if you think this is about Ripple, it's about the crypto industry at large, and what happens in the States affects other investors potentially. And then the one we read yesterday by Rosalind Layton, which kind of inferred that even Bitcoin or Ethereum holders may not be. What if they go after the mining pools, right? So you're right about that, Jeff. It's like people are just like, wow, they're suing Ripple, but we're cool. No. That, like, whatever they come up with there is going to have excuse the pun here, a ripple effect. And that's why I like the whole idea of a Ripple test, because I mean, going back to the 1930s for the Howey test, or the 40s for the Howey test, and the 30s for regulation. Come on, man. You're telling me that in 75 plus years we can't update it? I mean, man, we are just pathetic as a country. And then you got like the UK, the FCA, the way they regulate it, the way they look at crypto. To me, I still think it's one of the best ones. It fits one of three prongs, right? It's either a currency, it's got a use case, or it's a commodity. I think those are the three things. But the thing is, it can be one of all of them or one or two of them. And to me, that's huge. And why can't we just so we don't know what to do? I'll tell you what. Why don't we go to the UK? What did they do? Okay, let's adopt that. What did Singapore do? Let's adopt that. What's going over in Europe? Let's adopt that. No, Jeff, they can't do any of that. They're tripping over each other trying to figure it out.
Good point. Shoelaces are tied together.
I was going to say that, but that's your thing, man. Tripping over each other. But that really was one of the funnest things to do when you're in school. Kids sitting on a bench, you crawl under there, you tie them together, and then somebody calls them, and ooh.
Yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't go over well nowadays.
Yeah. Oh no, Jeff.
Nice
I would be. I got to tell you, one time I got called in to see the teacher, and my kid did something so clever, a clever prank, that I was sitting there like smiling and laughing when they were telling me. They're like, can you believe that? And I'm like, no. And I was like wanting to laugh, and I was thinking to myself, that was nice, well done. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I gotta be a parent. Oh, that's horrible. I can't believe she did that. It's crazy. And I was sitting there laughing under my breath. Yeah, what are you gonna do? It happens.
Very cool.
Look at the story right here. Let's throw this. Yeah, let's talk about this one. SBI Japan, Kitao, SBI Holdings touts XRP ledger for NFT use in the tokenization of a variety of assets. Now, on its face, what do you think this story is about? Other
Let's
assets.
see. I think we're going to talk about, well, somehow you're going to use an NFT in, well, maybe it's going to be real estate. Maybe it's going to be fixed asset, like a vehicle, maybe, I don't know, cars. Maybe it's collectibles. Maybe they want to tokenize and create NFT segments of, I don't know, you can do anything, even public spaces. When you buy the brick, now you can buy a digital representation of a wall or something.
Yeah, the tokenization.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out some
this
crazy
is something
ideas
you
here.
brought up early days when we started getting into early 2021 when we got into the NFT craze. So, yeah, according to a report on Tuesday titled "The Current Management Information Briefing," SBI outlined reasons why it believes XRP could be a sound choice for the use of NFTs. We know that there's two NFT platforms that are building on Flare, which is a decentralized, a DeFi sort of space, right? So it's interesting the way there says under the section building a more sustainable, scalable, and accessible future with XRPL, and that's really the magic to it all. It says it has extremely low transaction fees. SBI also said crypto can be settled instantly. And that's what Spend the Bits is doing with, being able to move Bitcoin fast, right? You use XRPL and you're moving it in 4 seconds, low transaction fees. And it says it can have an impact on the environment because it doesn't rely on mining. And they have to work that into everything, don't they, Jeff? How about it's just awesome? Can they say that?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, NFTs are digital assets that can be created as unique contracts on a blockchain and blah, 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 blah. Let's go back down.
What are they going to use the NFTs for? Let's see.
Yeah, tokenize.
There we go.
Not only XRP, a variety of other. What are they, Jeff? Well, extends beyond its potential use in NFTs. March to shareholders 100. Holy cow, man. Where do they get to the chunk here? Still, the focus, according to the company, remains the tokenization aspect, citing figures from the World Economic Forum that predict 10% of the world's gross domestic product would be tokenized by 2027.
How much? What percentage?
10% would be tokenized.
That's a pretty big percentage. I mean, you think about it. So what, according to the company, remains on the aspect, what are they, what is it? So they're expecting that, let's see, 100. I'm missing something. What are they tokenizing?
It's not in the article, Jeff. It's just another. It's one of these clickbait. The main thing that they're focusing on here is they believe it goes beyond. I don't really say, man. I think I pulled the wrong article. There was another one where they went into it a little bit more. Bad.
Yeah, I don't get it. No, I get it.
Clickbait articles.
I think what some of the things that they're referencing and what we're missing the boat on in the US because of a lack of regulatory clarity, what Japan and SBI is definitely gravitating to, Chip, is the fact that the XRP ledger, I mean, and we've talked about this so much, the technology that's built into the ledger, the technology that encompasses XRP can be, much more than what it's not just about the cross-border payments. And that's where you break it out and what you're mentioning, Flare network, as you can start breaking out the smart contract aspect of it. They build in the NFT and you start thinking, that's what I was starting to think, what more can an NFT be utilized for? Because you really want to emblazon a contract for all time, all purpose, that you own this title to something. It's not just in a smart contract, it's emblazoned into an NFT. Here's your title. You have title to this property. You have title to these shares. You have title to X ownership in this company. And it's put on the blockchain into this structure of an NFT. And now you have the actual copy that's signed and detailed and it's represented in something tangible, not just something on the blockchain. And so I think, you start orchestrating that, it's really amazing. I'm really getting excited. When you start looking at the tokenization and Chip, imagine you go and you want to invest into real estate and you can buy a fragment of a building. They can break that down. And there's some websites that help you do that. But now through the blockchain, it's not just, it's trackable, traceable, always tied back to you. And then you get an NFT that also embodies your ownership or whatever. That's pretty cool. I don't know. What do you think?
No, man. I think it comes down to everything we always talk about: decentralization, blockchain. I mean, it's got to come. It's whether they want it or not. It's here. It's here to stay. I was going to put this up here, but this is Proppy. And I was fortunate a couple years ago when they first started. I went to, obviously I'm in real estate tech, but I got to meet the founder. I thought, they're doing something kind of interesting, and this is kind of blown up. And this is Proppy, which multiple transaction stuff, but they're doing stuff on the blockchain. And this was Michael Arrington's, the world's first real estate NFT, which kind of plays into it.
There you go.
The founder of TechCrunch, Michael Arrington, his Kiev apartment sold in the world's first NFT real estate out. And again, you always have to be the number one to get it started. And it's pretty awesome. Proppy, there it is. It was done by Proppy. There's the NFT right there, which is pretty amazing, Jeff. And I think you're absolutely onto something. Real estate is going to be the end all be all without fail.
Yep. Channing wants to know what I'm drinking. I'm drinking H2O.
I am drinking vodka. No, I'm drinking water as well, Channing. Sorry. Thank you for that. Hey, but I did see every once in a while something catches my eye. I love like little clever tweets and little videos that are put out there. And I wanted to load up this video because it's very short, but I got to tell you, for the time and for what they're saying here, it is incredibly pretty awesome here. Let me load this puppy up if I can. There it is right there. All right, so this here is the very first mention of Bitcoin of a TV reference, supposedly in history. This is a TV show called The Good Wife in the United States. And let's roll this.
All right.
Feeling less terrified?
Oh, much less. There's your cashier's check. It only took 20 minutes standing in line at a bank to change dollar bills into another piece of paper.
Thank you. I went online and I bought 1 Bitcoin last night.
Really? It's the future.
I don't know. It didn't feel real.
Oh, real's gonna change.
Dude, I love that line. She goes, it didn't feel real. He said, real is going to change. God, is that prolific. So, some writer who was like into Bitcoin said, how do I work this into, he had to go get her a cashier's check from the bank. Had to wait for 20 minutes to get and then they weave in the Bitcoin conversation. Brilliant, man.
I like it. When was that from?
2012. Guess what the price was? You guys guess what the price was. And you can Google it, I know, but at the time that this aired, awesome. What do you think the price of Bitcoin was when she bought 1 Bitcoin? Take a guess, guys. I want to see you guys throw some stuff in there while Jeff and I sort of banter back and forth. But the funny thing is, Jeff, I barely know about the show The Good Wife, but if they're weaving cool stuff like
so
yeah, well, I don't think it was on very long. I don't know how long it aired, but see, like here's Channing going, well, $20. That's actually that's not a bad guess, Channing. That's pretty solid. But Ani, it's closer. You see, $10 is closer. So far, we got a winner here. We have 100 with Robert Morris. We have Carlos, because that's a little bit higher. GDLT says 3,700. No, a little bit high.
Maybe they missed you. Say two. What did you say? That was from
$10 was closer. $10 was closer to 2012. This is when this aired. 2012. Who really knew about it then? And you guys are getting close. Alex Yee gives the big thumbs up to Ani, who is right on there. Look at this, 64. Nope. Ani claims the prize tonight. She gets it. It was $3.41 back in 2012 when this aired. Can you imagine? Man. I bought a Bitcoin, Jeff. $3. It didn't seem real. He's like, well,
where was I in 2012?
I know where I was. I was hanging out with my pal Nindy. It was 12/12/12 is when we got the company started, our startup, and that's where I was. I know exactly where I was on that day. I was on the phone with him, and we were chatting about stuff, and that's where I was. And he was telling me about Bitcoin from every single day on. And to me, I was one of those guys that.
Hey, well, since you brought up Bitcoin, might as well segue.
Hey, can they make that headline smaller?
Bitcoin. I think that's I was like, holy cow, I can't even read it in real life.
Look at the size of that gavel. Holy cow.
And look at this. And then it's like you can't even get to the headline because
God, man. That was insane.
This is what you get on this look at this. You gotta blow it up and it's like one of those scroll things.
Horrible.
Because court has ruled. This is like a ticker. favor the self-proclaimed Satoshi Nakamoto over the copyright there. So Craig Wright, somehow a UK court has ruled in favor
What the hell is going on, Jeff?
Craig Wright. What in the world is up with that? Look at the size of this image. It's like, I don't think they had much to write, so they tried to make it as weird as possible.
That was it. Anything else happened? Nope. That was it, Jeff.
And this is
Watch ads.
and then everything is spaced out.
Holy cow, these are crazy. Some of these, I don't know. It's like it's like,
But
it looks
they
like
said
the
that
web.
Bitcoin was.
It looks like the web from like 1999. You know.
I think it is actually.
Everything's centered and justified and
it's like this big.
all one type.
It's so funny. But here you have Bitcoin.org can no longer share the 2008 white paper that outlines what Bitcoin is on its website. What kind of nonsense is that? I mean, you know, and so Craig Wright, the computer scientist, so-called, who claimed that he wrote the original document. I know there's something else in here because you can't just have, you don't just say, oh yeah. So let's see. He won the copyright infringement case he brought by default after the website's anonymous co-founder, Cobra, decided not to speak in his defense. He won by default. Again, I mean, this is so absurd.
Hey, it's a win, Jeff. Any way you can get it, right? A W is a W. How did you win? It was by default, but I won. You know,
I won.
I won everything.
Still haven't really fought the cause. We really don't know, and they still want to make claims that Craig Wright is what?
Thank you for that, Channing says that's for Bitcoin. Little bag there. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that, man. There you go. or BTC.
You guys are covering a lot of clickbait articles.
They're all
Those are the best.
Wait, here's the insight. Here's the pro tip. They're all clickbait articles, except for Rosalind Layton or like a real journalist that's writing stuff. But no, I mean, no. I mean, every once in a while we hit them, but what are you going to do? There's a couple here and there.
This was clickbait on Business Insider. I don't know.
Now, there's something weird about that one, Jeff. I don't know.
It's very bizarre. The whole point of that.
No, the whole thing is hilarious. The whole thing is
the article's the whole thing is messed up. But here's something else that's important. It is on Decrypt. Institutional investors are losing interest in Bitcoin because we start seeing Grayscale is actually trading at a discount as we see it going down. What's going on?
I love they take very little information and they all of a sudden make it a trend. Well, that's right. Yeah, just because it's down. Really of course, the institutional buying may be down, but what is their purview into it, and what's the evidence of it? That's what I want to know.
Crypto ETFs. I don't know. They talk to but a crypto ETF CEO thinks differently. Do they name who it is? Probably I don't know. I don't remember.
This is Decrypt. I mean, at least it's somewhat solid.
No, I like Decrypt is actually pretty decent, but they're referencing GBTC. Man, I don't know if that's a bad investment. I bought some GBTC.
Did you? It's good. Yeah, I think it's a great investment, man.
I think it's a good investment. You buy in at like 28, 29, 30.
I like the idea of those Grayscale trusts. I like that. Jeff, so I want to know what's going on. Yeah. So I want to pose a question here. And I want to ask, what the hell is going on with former SEC people here? Because this story right here has me really kind of wondering something might be up. Something may be running a foul here and there. I mean, there's something going on. But check this out. Let's just look at this right here. Saw this little tweet today from Zero Hedge. It says Robinhood paid former SEC head Dan Gallagher $30 million, most of it in stock. So that's like a resume builder. So you go to the SEC, you say, I can't say anything in my official capacity. I can't tell you anything. Invite me to conferences. I won't do anything. Don't worry about that giant SEC logo behind my back. It doesn't have anything to do with my official opinion. And then they go like bolt to Robinhood, or if you're Jay Clayton or Bill Hinman, then you immediately go to a place where you're going to be paid in Bitcoin. You're going to be working with Bitcoin and potentially Ethereum, right? So, I mean, look at this. I mean, look at their chief legal officer. That's a great title for $30 million, right? And so you go like, well, who is this Daniel Gallagher and what's he all about? Well, he was a private practice. He was a commissioner of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, from 2011 to 2015, was appointed to the SEC by Barack Obama, previously served. Now, you know what's odd about that? It says here, it says right here, look at his political party, Jeff. He's a Republican. At least that's what it says. I don't know. So it's kind of an odd thing, right? Professional career, did a bunch of stuff, was an attorney, then had an incredibly awesome moment where he became a commissioner over at the SEC, bolted over there, 30 million jack right in the pocket. So
not a bad gig.
It's not a bad gig if you can get it.
Each one of them gets a pretty good gig.
Jeff, I mean, you only got a shot. There's what, 4 commissioners? There 5 commissioners? Then there's the SEC head. Hey, yep. I'm fine. Chips I'm in there, man. Put me up for it. I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go to some crypto firm. Going to roll out with 100 million Bitcoin. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me. I'm in.
Just hey, without looking at his age, just let's guess his age. You guys know how old he is? If you had
54.
a guess, no, it's young. When he was at the SEC, we're going back what, almost 6-7 years ago.
38.
Get rid of that right there. He is 49 years old.
49.
49.
My next guess.
I knew you were going to guess 49. That was a good guess. Butthead guess too. It's close enough. Robert Morris, 41. Morris takes it. Carlos De Paz is close, but no. We right there. We got Morris. He gets it right there. He's quick on the draw. He nailed it. Boom. Goes to Robert Morris.
Nice.
Van life biker. After
he was right on.
He was, because he's probably looking at it. Van life.
I was 49, not 48.
You probably did nail it. But again,
and let's see if Van Life remembers how long you can leave fresh eggs out on the counter for. That's the question.
By the way, you did that a little bit earlier. It went, and I thought we were going to have another moment, but no, it don't. It was like a 4 or 5 skip. It wasn't a big long time skip like that. But geez, Jeff, I mean, something about the SEC. You get to go do these. You get to go over there and you get to make a lot of money. It's a fantastic gig.
It's a good gig. I'm in. I'm definitely in. I don't see any downside to it, truthfully.
No, now I love this article. So one of the shining stars in Congress is Cynthia Lumens. She's a freshman. She's from Wyoming. Did I get that right?
Who?
Cynthia Lumens, senator.
I believe she's from Wyoming.
She's from Wyoming.
So she wrong,
says,
but let's go.
Here's why she thinks that all Americans should buy and hold Bitcoin. And the very first reason is because it's not fiat currency. It's not losing value on a daily basis. Senator Cynthia Lumens believes that Bitcoin allows Americans to diversify their assets amid concerns the value of the U.S. dollar may decline, Jeff. Despite the dollar's dominance as the world reserve currency, the legislator from Wyoming tells her 34,000 followers on Twitter that the government is spending, it's threatening the value. Well, yeah, tell us something we don't know. She believes that the USD should and will continue to be the world's reserve currency, but spending like drunken sailors. Look at that. She's putting down drunken sailors, Jeff. That's horrible. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you know why they call them drunken sailors? Because you're at sea with a bunch of guys for like 4 months at a time. You hit the shore. First, the place you hit is a bar right there, right?
Go straight to the pub.
Spending like drunken sailors. I wonder if she'll get a little guff from drunken sailors. She could have said swear like sailor, swear like a. Why do they get the bad rap? Swear like a sailor, drunken sailors is not serving the American people or the value of USD well. And there's a little.
It's nice.
So yeah,
smart.
No, it's very smart. But and people go like, "Whoa, what's Bitcoin?" They jump into Bitcoin. They start seeing all the alt market, and they go like, "Oh, that's a cute little dog. I think what is that one called? Shiba Inu? No, this one. Oh, Dogecoin. Yeah, I think that's a cute little meme. That's like a grandma coin. Grandma thinks, oh, it's such a cute, fun dog. Grandma invests in it, and then is up 4,000% because she, threw down on it in January. So,
oh man, you got to check this out. I was checking out Twitter earlier today, and I stumbled on this. Man, you got to check this out real quick.
Wie einst Lily Marlin. Wie einst Lily Marlin.
Sir John in the house from Croatia, man. Nice. Sir John even did a new video. He's like, guys, I did the new video. You know why? Because you're too far away, man. We need you to like see your face. Now, if you record another one,
like a perfect shot.
Jeff, we are open to doing another doing another song potentially, but I think you need an upbeat number, man. I think maybe like, you know, an old Elvis tune or something, or some Soundgarden, maybe some
Soundgarden.
Pilots.
Oh, do some STP. That would be awesome.
Please do some STP. I would love that. Do some of that, and I think we'd be forced to play that without a doubt. There'd be no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
So John says, I'm teaching people vet medicine, and you make laugh at me.
We don't laugh. We're laughing. No. That's not laugh.
Are you working in the veterinarian space right now?
Yeah.
And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it is.
Right.
I mean,
so check this out. You know, security is always a thing. Always. Binance. Oops. I was zooming on the wrong screen. Binance deploys CipherTrace tool for travel rule compliance. Binance is getting a little flack. By the way, Binance is trading again over in the UK, whatever transgression that had occurred the other day. They are working again, but look at this. Announcement comes as Binance faces regulatory challenges from financial watchdogs in several countries. So what do you think this is about? What is the travel rule exactly? The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network and Financial Action Task Force travel rule regulations require virtual asset service providers to exchange identifying information when conducting transactions. So with the CipherTrace, they want to be able to tackle hacks. They want, you know, any of these bad actors. Look at this. They'll help them detect bad actors. Because I think there were some issues. Didn't you have an article the other day that they were able to track some of the Hamas terrorist group funds over to Binance, and they were able. And I think CipherTrace may have been the one involved in it. I don't know exactly, but if you look at this is like the foundation. So Binance was catching a lot of flack for a few things, but I think they might be one of the first ones coming out of the gate. I could be wrong. Maybe Coinbase is already doing it. Maybe Uphold does it, but utilizing CipherTrace to really try to handle some of these issues. You know, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, anything they can do to sort of take the bad aura off of you know, not only Bitcoin, but just the whole crypto marketplace. I mean, there's always going to be bad actors and everything, and everyone's going to try to leverage it. You know, that stuff was going on with Hamas. Obviously, they were laundering it through Binance, and I don't know how they were able to sort of do it. But the thing about the blockchain is if you, yeah, it's transparent, it's open, but you have to know who owns the wallet, right? So you got to be able to identify the wallet, identify where it's moving to, because otherwise it could be moved. A lot of times we see the whale alerts, a big whale alert, you know, X amount of BTC was moved from this wallet over to, you know, Coinbase, and from Coinbase over to somewhere else. But unless you know who owns the wallet, it's just like, it's an interesting stat. It's like, oh, that's cool. Someone, you have a big baller who's going nuts with moving stuff around. So, you know, that's what it is. Look at this right here. I wanted to show this up. So Billy Bob says XRP is my first and favorite, but thinking of adding some XDC. Your thoughts? More XRP, or would some XDC be a good idea? I'm not asking for investment advice, and I'm just looking to diversify. Well, you know, I always say if you look at the underlying sort of principles, if you look at the use case, you know, XDC certainly, I almost feel like in a way it's a little bit on the undervalued side. The reason I say that is because if you compare it with other sort of projects in a similar type of a space, now I wouldn't necessarily know if I would compare it to Cardano, but there's some other ones out there that I might look at it compared to that certainly have a higher price. But I kind of like what R3 is doing, you know, with XDC. I like some of the partnership things that have come out recently about it. And I just think it's highly undervalued. Now, it was 5 cents the other day, so it had a nice little uptick, but it's gone as high recently as 14 cents. So it was up to 14 cents. So look, I mean, you buy a coin, you buy anything, but you know, can you ride it up? I mean, gosh, Doge went up there, but you got to look at it from a perspective of, hey, Am I, as an investor, will I make money? Chances are you probably will, because it actually has a real use case. And it's got partnerships that are involved. And I still think they're early days. They're kind of young. I mean, Jeff, I don't know. What are your thoughts about XDC?
Yeah, I agree. You know, and we're not doing any charts or anything seismic here, but I'm looking at the graph over the past year. If you want to go out max, I don't think it's older than what is it, 2018. So let's see, it came into fruition April of 2018 at 0.003. Obviously, we're looking at a number of year period here, and it sat for all these years, but it finally is getting some leverage here. Obviously, we saw the big gain, but I don't know, Chip. I mean, I look a year out, and I'm seeing a whole trend, and it's not just XDC, it's the whole market.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that it's higher than it was February 21st. If I go out max, it's still sitting significantly higher than where it was January of 2021. And it just seems like if the space dies out and just goes away, then obviously everything's going to go disappear, but we all know that it's not going that direction. The space is going to keep growing. Chip, I think you brought up one of the most significant points, though, that regardless of where that's going, because you could look at some of the meme coins, you could look at Doge, you could look at all these non-use case coins, and you're going to see a similar potential, similar trajectory, but typically it's going to be straight up, except for Doge, and then it just it might go straight up, come down, and then sits kind of flat, maybe a couple years out. But the thing that you brought up is the use case. If you look at Zinfin, right, there's so much more to that it's a platform, it's a protocol. There's the involvement of it. You were just bringing it up, think about that part of it. Talk a little bit more about the involvement of XDC in other projects.
Well, I look at this too. I mean, it does have a lot of similar properties. There's a lot of things entering the space here. But if you look at the Zinfin hybrid, it's powered by XDC. If you look at it now, they compare it to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Transactions per second, 2,000 plus. Average fee is sub 1 cent. Very similar properties that you would get to some of the other projects out there like XRP and whatever. And this one here, smart contract support. Yeah, it's got that as well. So that's also built into it. The smart contract thing is interesting. But again, you have to be able to get traction with it. And, of course, they point out the energy consumption, which is almost nil. It's nothing. It's almost negligible, right? Especially by comparison to Bitcoin and then Ethereum. But Ethereum's, eventually that'll work itself out too. But it does have some interesting things, and you got to look at what's the potential for the project moving forward. XRP. Look, we talk about XRP a lot. I'm, big fan of XRP. Jeff is too. I mean, I just think that the rails and what they've done, what Ripple's done, I don't worry about this lawsuit, because worst thing, Ripple moves to a different country and the U.S. loses everything. And 95% of it, we found recently, a stat released by Ripple, said their business outside the U.S. So, if you had to leverage the two of them, tough choice, right? I mean, Billy Bob, you got to think about it, what you might want to go with, and maybe you get some help in the chat. But if you're going to look to diversify, yeah, it is kind of a compliment. What do you think about that, Jeff? You think that's well said, a compliment in a way?
Yeah, no, I think so. XLM, XRP, XDC, they all complement the X category. But I agree. I mean, I look at the project. I'm looking at the possibilities. It could go to zero, just like any other project. You can invest with the idea that it's going to go to zero. But at the same time, it could go so much further. We've seen ramp up from where it was, again, not that long ago, when it was sitting under 1 penny. Now it's at 8. It was at 5. What did it touch at its high? 12, 13 cents. I mean, you're talking about right now, it's like if you're looking at all these different assets, why not? It's a great entry point, especially if the project gets some legs. But then you have to be willing to lose the money if it doesn't. But the gains on the other side are pretty big, I think.
But I think the one thing that distinguishes XDC from a lot of these other projects where they tend to be a little bit more retail is the fact that it's really what they're going after is global trade and finance, right? So the power of public and private blockchains with interoperable smart contracts. So they do have a sort of a niche that they're going after, and that is a multi-trillion-dollar area that really there's some of the other ones really are not touching. And then if we look at, here's a real complementary one, which is Hbar, Hedera Hash Graph. You know, they put up a similar type of chart. You want to look at complementary. Again, they're going for a different sort of a niche, but you know, of course, they compare themselves to Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they do 10,000 transactions a second. Their average fee is sub 1 cent, you know, 3 to 5 seconds, right? They'll start looking somewhat familiar. And then again, especially in the energy usage, a little bit higher than, let's say, XRP and a transaction, you know, not energy necessarily, but transaction cost maybe a little higher, but I mean, it's negligible. A tenth of a cent versus 15, you know, not even like sub tenth of a cent. So you start looking at some of the things about what they're trying to go after, and they all sort of have their own sort of, and you look at the partnerships, who are they working with? You know, what type of organizations are they doing? What, you know, who are they attracting? So all of these are very similar in nature, but I think Hbar is another one. And that's right now, Jeff, I don't know if you can pull up Hbar, but Hbar is pretty undervalued right now. Now it's also been up there and reached a pretty solid high. But again, if you like these type of altcoins that work sort of like in either a payment or a transactional type of a space, that deal in 3 to 5 seconds, you know, fast, you know, low cost, what do we have for Hbar there? So it's 20 cents right now. I'm curious what the all-time high was. Does it have an all-time high there? But it's also a very good coin, I think, without a doubt. No doubt. It's a decent coin. I want to hear what you guys think about it, too. What do you guys think about here and here? Going through here. There you go. XRP, XLM. Algo's another one. USDC, which I prefer over USDT. We had a good article about those two kind of clashing.
Oh, yeah.
I just think USDC is a much better project. And the ISO 20022 payment system, which is a better version of the original SWIFT system. It can do a lot more, and it's becoming. Funny thing about that was it was kind of like really thought about and invented back in the early 2000s, which kind of, I guess, you know, I mean, sometimes when you're adopting stuff, it's a little bit on the slow moving side. Holochain is fascinating as well. You know, Holochain is one of those ones that really kind of never came out of the gate really strong and kind of just, I don't know. I still don't even know. Quant right there is a winner. I don't know, man. I think that's going to hit 1,000. Obi-Wan Kenobi says XRP speedball waiting for the Obi-Wan Kenobi token release at 0.0000000000002 BTC. Beautiful.
Great. All right. So you bring this up. Here's what I'm trying to get to. USDC set to become dominant stablecoin on Ethereum. It is displacing the USDT. USDC growing faster than Tether in 2021. And I thought what was interesting here, let's see. He added that over half of the total USDC supply now sits in smart contracts, which is equivalent to around $12.5 billion. That's crazy. He estimates that more than 40% of the stablecoin supply in Ethereum is USDC. 40%. Wow. But then if you get into this tweet, in coming weeks, it's very likely USDC share of the stablecoin supply in Ethereum will fall below 50% for the first time. So USDC taking over, you know, big moves. There's obviously other stablecoins out there, but the USDC looks like it's going to displace Tether. Maybe for good reason.
Potentially.
Hey, what about Germany?
Yeah, I had that German story. Throw that up there, Jeff. Let's talk about that a little bit. This is cool news. The fact that these special funds can now, and they say, what's the $1 billion they gave? They quoted some multi-billion-dollar sort of a scenario there. 41 billion. Wow.
Is that 41?
415 billion. Hello.
Could flow into crypto assets. 415 billion flowing into crypto assets as a result of this. And it's a new law. We have to look up what that means. Spatial funds. I assume it means special.
No,
Special
that's
funds.
yeah. Those are the
Funds.
institutionals. Those are institutionals, what they call them. Like the institutional, they're allowing institutions to institutional banks and stuff like that to hold crypto for the first time ever.
Nice.
Which is fantastic.
A favorite investment vehicle for German institutions. I like it. The Fund Location Act. This is so cool. You know, I mean, you get this little glimpse of what's going on in their parliament, and then you get a little glimpse of what's going on in U.S. Congress. Imagine, it would be awesome, you know, to put these two up side by side. These guys are passing a new, you know, law in order to make it possible. Congress is, you know, has the Shermanator.
It's so sad, but they have other people too.
Well, I know.
Jeff, what have I said so many times on Twitter? You know, I'm like, you know, when people start talking about all the things we thought 2020 would bring, 2021 would bring, you know, I always would say stuff like, you know, we were promised flying cars. That was it. We were promised flying cars, and we got
for a long time
cat memes, you know, and Dogecoin memes. That's what we got, right? Wait, I
want my flying car.
I've got something for you here, Jeff. You're about to see this. Look at this. This right here is a flying car, and it might be one of the coolest things to spend your little money on. Because check this out. I'm gonna fly around in this a little bit, but let me see. I'm clicking the one. Here we go. No big deal, right? Some dude.
Does it run on Bitcoin?
I don't know what it runs on. But you can see that it's a car. You know, you go like, okay, it's a strange looking car. It looks like a car that has wings. Takes off for the very first time, and it looks funny, right, Jeff?
Looks like an airplane.
It looks like a plane, right?
There's no volume.
Is the volume not playing?
No.
Oh, you know why?
That's all right. We can talk over it.
Hang on a second.
Probably not so exciting with the volume.
It's like triumphant music. It's like something like that. I gotta click the audio button. Here we go. You're gonna hear it and you'll be like, that's so stupid. But here, let's go. So let's play it again. So he's got a little guide playing there. Dude's in a car, Jeff. He's in a car. So what I want to do, he's just like, yeah, I'm just flying around in my car, right? Flying around in my car. So then look at the landing. Check the landing out. This is pretty badass. What a smooth landing. Look at this. Oh, beautiful.
Good pilot.
Right?
They have there's no, was that a yoke? Go back to, I want to see, look at the instrument cluster on that.
How far do you want me to go back? I don't know if you can.
I think we missed it. No, it's forward. There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's like a regular car.
I think so.
Extra gadgetry in there.
He might have a little bit of extra stuff in there, but you know, as you look through it, so like he gets down and nobody thinks this thing's gonna work. They're like, oh, you know, that nut job's been talking about flying cars since he was a kid. It's not a big thing. So I'm thinking to myself, Jeff, I'm not that impressed with this thing, right? I'm like, it's okay, but watch this. This is where it gets interesting. So what's happening is the wings are folding up and then back. Now I'm like, okay, now it looks like a freaking car to me. Okay.
Dude, that was insane.
Now that is a flying car. Look at that car. It's actually a cool looking car. Look at this thing. Now, after everybody...
it even has a glass roof to shut. That's nice. Look at that.
Yeah, now after everybody was watching this, he flies into town and they're waiting for him to get there because you don't know if the nut job is going to return. So here he is flying through. Look at him going through the streets, la la la, just going down the highway in a car, Jeff. It's a freaking flying car.
That's pretty awesome.
He still has his headset on, you know, like you know, when you're up there flying around, gets off the exit here, and then he basically, now here everybody gathers. You see, they know he's coming in. Look at that, Jeff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is impressive. He's like, yep, the car freaking
forget the Lambos. That's what everybody's gonna want.
Everybody wants a flying car. We were promised flying cars, and boom, there it is.
I'll tell you what. Bitcoin, the Bitcoin millionaires had the Lambos. The XRP millionaires are gonna have the flying cars. How about that?
So one of the things that I left off here was the screen here. I wanted to show this. This is Klein's Vision patent protected air car completed its 142nd successful landing in Bratislava at 6:05 a.m. on June 28, 2021. Jeff, that's 3 days ago. That's insane. After
Sweet,
landing
awesome.
at a click of a button, the aircraft transformed into a sports car in under 3 minutes, was driven to the downtown Bratislava area, cutting the typical time down from an airport in Nitra by a factor of 2. Yes,
Nice.
Please. I'm in line. I want a flying car. Anyway, that's always some of the
XRP Ninja said probably a Doge investor.
probably. There's
Flying
probably
pizza boxes.
There's no doubt about that. And then every once in a while, Jeff, I like, sometimes you get the quick shots at the end. This was a good one right here. What does that say?
Imagine if he didn't get the Chick-fil-A sauce after taking off the like, damn it, got to go back.
That's a good point. I love Chick-fil-A. I'm getting hungry right now. This is a quick shot right here. Douglas Bonaparte says, I was going to invest in the Krispy Kreme IPO, but I saw too many holes in their business model. If you guys don't know what Krispy Kreme is, it's a donut shop, right? So I saw too many holes. Whatever.
If you don't know what a donut is, it's
you
stuff,
know what donut holes, but I saw too many holes in their business model. That was fun. Classy. But
they don't have donuts everywhere in the world.
No, donuts, they don't have donuts. They don't have cronuts either, which are croissant donuts.
No, they definitely don't have donut holes. They don't have muffin tops. They don't have any of those types of things. There you go.
Paul Salas says, you guys rock contributing to your new flying car fund. You rock, Paul Salas, and everybody else that contributes here, whether it's a super chat, which we love, and the support of the channel. You come back time after time. Clever comments, amazing human beings, and some of the smartest people on Earth. I can't say anything about the other planets because I haven't been there yet, but on Earth, you guys are the smartest anyway. But thank you so much for that, Paul. You are awesome.
Really cool. Very cool. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody being here. Tonight is Thursday, which I can't believe. We'll be on again Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Off Sunday. For all those.
Not we. You will be on there. I'm not doing the Saturday morning time slot anymore. I'll be sipping my coffee on the line back by the pool. And as I'm listening to Jeff with my dog hanging out with me at my side, listening to Jeff and all the fun people in there. Not me.
Chip has officially confirmed that he'll be waking up just in time for the live stream. All right. Saturday morning. We're off on Sunday because it is the 4th of July and we get to celebrate this country's Independence Day. So 4th of July, we'll be back again on Monday. And then we stream. If you didn't realize, we stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning.
Oh, now you're adding Monday morning. Okay.
At 8 a.m. Yeah, that's it. Let XRP Moon. We'll be streaming every day, morning, evening, whenever. It's all good.
Yeah, and as always, we love you guys. Have a good one and have an enjoyable weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.